So normally I would prefer to play games that are a little bit less common, so I don't have to upload a video that's already been done millions of times before by loads of other people. I thought I'd do a little experiment and I would play Super Mario Brothers 3 just to see if this gets more views. So this is the PAL cartridge. It's the Italian version as well for some reason. I think this come with my NES when I bought it on eBay a few years ago. So yeah, let's play a little bit of Super Mario Brothers 3. For a minute I actually thought the recording was going a bit wrong because there's no sound here, but there is just no sound on that little cutscene thingy. Alright, so a funky little map screen where you can sort of choose the levels you go to. So this game was clearly a direct sequel to the first Super Mario Brothers game. And there was quite a few years between the two games actually, so you would have expected them to improve it. But the thing about this game is that there's such a lot added to it over the original formula for Super Mario Brothers. There's quite a lot of small little things you can do that do make the game a little bit like it's kind of like a playground in a way. It's not just where it's saying this is the challenge, you have to get from A to B, and if you fail at any of the challenges then you die and lose a life. You know, it's there's a lot of little mechanics here and there that they've added to the game. You know, and even right throughout the 16-bit generation, there were very few games that came anywhere close to the amount of imagination that is shown in this game. Just a little secret room there. I mean, when you look at the game, you know, you can see, because it's a NES game, it doesn't exactly look amazing graphically, but obviously they knew what they were working with, and the graphics are well defined. They look very nice and clean. And it's definitely a step up from most other NES games. Yeah, so another addition to this game is that you can pick up and throw shells. So yeah, there, if you duck down on that block, you can actually run behind the background, and here's another secret room. And actually I've never found that room before, but I did kind of know. I think it's those white blocks that you can sort of get behind. And here's another room that gives you an item that you can use on the map screen. Yep, and this game even has some bonus levels. Something that's kind of interesting about this game, the release date was actually very, very close to the release date of the Mega Drive in Japan, I think. And because of that, that did actually affect the sales of the Mega Drive quite badly. The Mega Drive didn't really take off in Japan. It has been a while since I've played this game. Being from the UK, I'm one of the many people that didn't grow up with the NES. A lot of us had already, well, their parents had already bought a home computer by the time the NES was released. And if you was going to buy a console, the chances are you would have ended up buying a Master System instead of the NES anyway. I did have one friend that had a NES, and I must admit I did enjoy playing it when I went round his house. Obviously there's nothing wrong with the games, but there's other things that make a console popular. So yeah, I've never actually found that block before, but it leads to another secret area. that I'd never found before. This game is pretty good at rewarding the player with little extras like that. I mean, it doesn't give you much, it's only a few coins, but it's just a little incentive to go looking for those things. It's not always a good idea to slide everywhere. Yes, here's a little Hammer. Are they called Hammer Brothers? A Hammer Brothers minigame. Where you can pick up another item. You know, I do actually have, well, it's broken now, but I did have a SNES. And I've got Super Mario World for it, but I do actually prefer this game. I think they kind of simplified it a bit for Super Mario World. I mean, I still think it's a good game, but I just prefer this one. I'm really not very good at this game, I must admit. I mean, if you've ever seen videos of tool assisted speedrunners or tool assisted speedruns of this game, then my skills are a bit lacking. Yeah, so I decided to make use of my invincibility. Have you noticed there, if you look to the right, you can sort of see, well, sometimes you can see the colour not quite scrolling as smooth as the screen scrolls. Now, I'm not playing this on an emulator, this is actually a real NES. Which is kind of interesting. I wonder if that's just a flaw with the system, or if the game is doing something technical that is causing that to happen. Oh, come on, Andy. Right, finally. I was always more familiar with the Game Boy Mario games, actually, because the Game Boy was really popular over here. But I know a good game when I see it, and this is definitely recommended to anybody that might not have played it. So there you go. That's a look at Super Mario Bros. 3 for the NES.